Finally, Lawrence Seymour has signed with Texas as the starting left guard. We're back here,
Or possibly right guard.
or possibly right guard, but we're back.
Yeah.
Your boys, Alex Dunlap, Cody Carpentier here from Mobile at the Senior Bowl with Football with Friends, presented by the Man Eye Institute. See life better at the Man Eye Institute, 1-844 WOW 2020, 1-844 WOW 2020. If you need eyes, better eyes, then Mr. Alex Dunlap over here, or if you are Alex Dunlap over here and you can't see 65 yards down the field to see these offensive linemen like Jennings Dunker from Iowa, who Texas would love to have, then you need to go to the Man Eye Institute and get those eyes checked so that you have good eyes like myself.
I could. Dunker's first name is Jennings.
Jennings Dunker.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. This guy is too sick. We're not gonna. Maybe we'll talk some Senior Bowl. I have a take about Manny Muhammad today, but we're gonna talk about that. We also have to talk about
Lawrence Seymour.
Yeah, because man, for one,
sorry to the offensive. Sorry to Kyle Flood.
Happy to be here. For two, I see people are tuning in. We're live. I don't see anything happening in the chat yet, so I'm not sure if we have some kind of connection issue. If you guys want to toss in a super chat, if you want to, engage with the show somehow in that way, we would love to hear from you. But okay, so Alan Makeda has proved to me that our chat function is working. We know that for today and for tomorrow, we'll have shows after practices end. They end at 6 this year. And so it's going to be like 6:30, 6:45. And then Thursday, I'll be flying home. You'll be driving home. So no show Thursday. And then we'll be back on Friday for our final takes, and we'll be able to wrap up the whole Senior Bowl. But yeah, man, some stuff I'm hearing today, not just from Texas players, but just about other players of interest that Texas fans might be interested in. We can get to that eventually, but the most important thing is, man, Texas got a dude today.
A dude.
Texas got a dude, and the more that we honestly, guys, I was telling Cody today that I was like, how long can we keep talking about this offense, like making a thumbnail about offensive line and what's going to happen with offensive line? And Chad today, we couldn't do the podcast because we were at practice, but they talked about offensive line and, offensive line, all this stuff, the hand wringing about the offensive line. It's like so much talk about this, and rightfully so, right? Rightfully so. At this point last year, we were so busy, we were focused last year on, I guess not at this point, but during the whole transfer portal period, it was obvious that there was a giant need. But it was probably something where, Sark asked Kyle Flood, he's like, are we good? Whatever. Kyle Flood's like, yeah, we'll be fine, blah, 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 blah. And we kind of shrugged it off as saying okay, well, I guess they're fine, even though we didn't know it. But we're busy covering a team that's, going to the semifinals in the college football playoff.
Yep.
So it's like, how much can you this year without anything else to focus on? Everybody takes the same hard look personnel-wise that we do here on the show, and they look at it and they say, well, this could be a disaster. This could be something that sets Texas back in a way to where, with everything you've built up and with everything you've tried to do with the offense, and you bring in Cam Coleman, you bring in Raleek, you bring in Hollywood Smothers. Can you believe how people talk about Hollywood Smothers here in Mobile? As far as they talk about that, like people, like college football people talk about that like it's as big a deal as Cam Coleman.
Yeah.
They
asked, who do you guys think is the biggest guy that they got? And we were like, oh, Cam Coleman. Hollywood Smothers? I was like, wait.
Right.
Hollywood Smothers, do you think it's on that level? Like, that's
right.
That's some high praise, man. And that's
right. And so I see John Brown in the chat saying the talk is the new LG might not be eligible, and there is still a waiver that needs to go through for him to be able to be signed, and so keep all of that in mind.
That would be the ultimate swindle.
Wouldn't it be?
You get a guy like this that
let me hear your thoughts on this player and how it would affect the. I'm not sure. Like he says, the left guard, right? I'm not sure that it's a left guard.
I mean, so here's the deal. So I think Sikorsky plays best at left guard, and we know Baker's been playing right side. And so my natural inclination is just to plug in Sikorsky at left guard. And then you have a guy like Seymour that played left side last year against LSU and Toledo. And we watched the tape before we came on here. And I'm like, well, you plug him in at left guard and it's your protected side, which is your cohesion. So you know Goosby's going to be over there. And you know that's your number one guy. And you're basically putting one of these two dudes between your most veteran offensive lineman in Connor Robertson, who's been on campus for 6 years, and then you put Goosby, who's your best, and then you put one of these two guys in between him, and I think Seymour obviously fits great there. And then the other side, it's like you got Baker and you got Siani, who, in his mind thinks he projects in a year or 2 years as a first-round pick. And I think you instead of going on the right side, you go, all right, we're going to make a portal guy and a portal guy side by side. You kind of mix them in every other, it sounds stupid or cocky maybe in theory, but I think the way you look at it, where Seymour, like we just got done watching him, I mean, this guy can play at a high level. Watch him play at a high level against Toledo, and you dominated, like you said, and then watch him against LSU and these guys that, they're not, this isn't your brother's LSU on the defensive line. Like they aren't rolling out first round picks left and right, but
it's SEC. And here,
it's SEC.
And listen, dude, if we're going to be coming on here talking about the fact as SEC maximalists, as SEC supremacists.
Don't say Homer.
But dude,
I'm an SEC Homer.
It isn't a Homer.
I'm from the Big Ten country, but I'm an SEC Homer.
It isn't an SEC Homer. It's like it's somebody who looks at the data as far as the NFL draft, and and I understand now. All that's a completely different conversation, and that could change because guys on the too deep of SEC teams could transfer out and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, but if you're looking at it traditionally, man, this isn't an SEC is the best conference conversation, but the SEC is the toughest and best conference from top to bottom.
It's the biggest, fastest, and strongest, and that's not an argument.
And it just means more.
And it just supplies the NFL with much more talent on a greater scale.
And honestly, like what the data shows is like there's no argument from any other side about that, right? So what I will say about what I'll say about let's just. Do I need to finish that point, or can we talk about the player?
Talk about the player.
Okay. So you have a guy here that played left guard at Western Kentucky. You have a guy here that has terrific feet, terrific balance, who
great power and strength in both hands.
Even from the left side, man, going that's the thing, but man, with Kyle Flood, like if you have the strength to be able to, as a guard, right, to have a 3 technique on your outside shoulder, to be able to take your left hand, your non-dominant hand, and turn him inside with that part of your body, which is not the strongest part of your body.
That's your core. Yeah, that's pure core.
Right. That's a bunch of core strength. But honestly, man, that isn't what's best about him, dude. It's about his feet. It's about his balance. It's about, you watch the LSU game, you watch him in his pass set, and you see how these guys are trying to do their outside the in moves on him. And whenever they do that, guess what he does not do? He does not turn his hips towards the sidelines. He doesn't fall for it. Do you know what he does? He keeps his two hip pointers pointed towards the goalposts, and uses agility through like just God-given grace. He's the kind of guy who you look at and you say, man, this guy, even though his measurables aren't perfect, he's what, six, because he's only 6'2",
320. Yeah.
His arms are short,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's certainly a guard. And you look at it and you say, you're like, dude, this guy is. I had no idea he was on the market. I didn't know that we were looking at this kind of player.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember him getting into the portal. Like, I feel like it was like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. He's one of the later guys, I think, to get in, if I remember right. But I hadn't looked at him prior. I was like, oh, Western Kentucky kid, whatever. And then I kind of just moved on. But yeah, he's redshirt senior by way of Akron, Miami. Went to Miami Central High School. Looks like we had some pretty good, pretty in-depth chats. We also got a super chat from Oscar Elizondo in here.
Hold on, but somebody's talking to, like, somebody in here is saying, hold on. They're saying data. Big Ten was 11-5 in bowl games, and they won the Natty for the third straight season. SEC was 4-10 in bowl games. Also, do you want to go into?
You ready? Ready for this? This is a Matt Kelly special. Don't care.
It doesn't matter.
That's a Matt Kelly special. Don't care.
I don't care. It's like, do you really care about bowl games? Think about Texas in this year's bowl game.
The only argument on the whole message is the championships.
Was Texas 2025 in their bowl game?
Was Michigan?
Bowl games?
No.
These bowl games have turned into games where you're just like, oh my gosh, everyone's transferred out, everyone's left. It's a bowl game that doesn't even matter anymore.
Well, it matters to Sark, but that's not everywhere. The only argument he has is championships. But when you statistically go, I can pull the data up right now, but if you want to go data, go look at the data for the number of drafted players from the last 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years. SEC almost 2x the Big Ten year in and year out. And that's what matters, player by player by player in this conversation, which we're having about Seymour playing against LSU.
We're not gonna have conversations on this show about whether, like, on this show, the prevailing thought and the North Star is always going to be that the SEC is our conference and the SEC is the dominant conference.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. If you disagree with that, you're going to disagree with a lot of what we say.
If you're going to disagree with that, you can go probably watch the Rucker Knights.
Yeah, go have fun watching the bottom half of the Big Ten play again. Like, what are we talking about here?
We got a super chat from Oscar. If you want to reset.
I want to talk more about the offensive line guy, but
it's about the offensive line.
This is an All-American guard. Why would we move Baker to his position when Baker looks very promising at tackle? Well, because Texas brought in Melvin Siani to play right tackle.
Yeah.
And
I think
Brandon Baker's.
I think the overarching question he has is, you're saying to put Baker at left guard and Seymour at right guard. And I think he's asking why you would move the All-American he's saying Seymour's an All-American from left guard to right guard. I think that's basically the whole point. Oscar, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you.
And the reason why I think that Seymour would be an excellent right guard is because of his attack velocity in small spaces. It just watch him versus, like, admittedly, we've been in the Senior Bowl practices all day, right? We just got home.
Jennings Dunker.
We only Dunker is so good.
That dude's so nasty.
We've only watched the Toledo game and the LSU game, But in those 2 games, what I've noticed is this is a dude who is seek and destroy. And the minute he gets his angle, the minute he gets his line on the guy in a closed space, he is attack and he is punch to leverage. And to me, that screams right guard in the SEC. This guy weighs 320 pounds, whereas I see Brandon Baker, a guy who's been who. One of the best things about him is he's kind of a finesse right tackle. Like, so to me, when I think about like a finesse right tackle, I think about what Texas does when you're running an outside zone. What do you want to do? You want a guy with his feet. You want a guy with his level of balance, and you I would think you would want him at left with his athleticism, right? Whereas and I can understand both ways. It's like, well, if Baker's been on the right side, keep him on the right side. I totally get it. And like I said, I'm never going to be somebody who is going to, um, man, Kyle Flood in this whole deal deserves, Rotten Tomatoes getting thrown at him for one thing, right? One thing. And that was the ridiculous thing that he did this last offseason at about this time when he said that the offensive line was fine.
Yep.
Right? And
he didn't say it publicly, but
through the staff's actions, that's what happened. If you take the whole Pregnon thing out of the equation, because that was some kind of cockamamie issue, right?
Talk about
I see Kyle Flood as either the best or the second best offensive line coach that Texas has had since I've been covering this program, starting in 2013. Is between him and like, Stacy Searles,
who's at Georgia.
So I would depend on Flood to, as far as like that. People are like, why would you ever depend on Kyle Flood? The offensive line is stunk. And I totally agree, man, right? That Kyle Flood's main deficiency has been not realizing that he did not have the players to be able to compete. And not going to the portal, not being as aggressive as like, say, like Kenny Baker comes to Sarks. It's like, dude, I need like 5 defensive linemen. Do you know what I mean? Like, Flood didn't give that sort of urgency to what he would have needed last year. And that's a giant indictment, right? That's a big indictment, right? That lost the Florida game. Hence, it lost the playoff berth. So I can understand it. But what I would say is, like, as far as from a pure offensive line coach, what I'm saying is I trust Kyle Flood and whatever he thinks, as far as left, right for these guys. I just think Brandon Baker, man, he's so light on his feet. He's so good. But dude, here's the other thing. Seymour's light on his feet. Dude, like
that mirror
in the
rep.
LSU game, no, there were 2 of those mirror reps in a row.
Hand fighting and his light on his feet and just navigating that whole gap. I mean, it was
hip pointers.
It was
upfield. He doesn't. The way you get completely screwed, right, is when your hip pointers are toward the sideline or 75% toward the sideline, and whenever that happens, guess what they can do? That's when they can
use their athleticism and completely,
or just bam, and just come right through. It's like, it's a really good player here, and I think that Cody, didn't you say he was some kind of all-American? Like, I didn't even look at his accolades.
Phil Steele, second-team All-America. He's also all CUSA, which is not shocking.
Yeah.
Alan Makeda wants Herb Hand back.
Why? Did you like his cooking videos? Didn't they say that Herb Hand went to Florida State?
I thought he left Florida State, or did he? I can't remember what it was. It was one of the two
Yep.
directions. If you left, what was
I
it?
don't-
I don't even remember. But I'd like to
Yep.
see some cooking videos. I'm pretty hungry.
Yeah, I'm pretty hungry too. Do you know what? That's a good reminder that we should put up our QR code here for the Alpha Seasoning. Go to alphaseasoning.com, pick up the Longhorn Dust or the Elite Spice Blend. So nice to see a bunch of orders came in last night. We will get those out whenever I get home.
Probably Friday.
That'll be on Friday.
Yeah.
We're still at a point where we're still such a small company as far as our seasoning company, to where I'm like packing them up, sending them out of my own house. You know?
Mm-hmm. I know. I know. They might not know. AlphaSeasoning.com. Go check it out.
AlphaSeasoning.com. We have the Elite Spice Blend. We have the Longhorn Dust. We
Or-
thank you guys so much for continuing to support our business here. All right.
Or you can go into Hudson's or Texas Beef Traders and just pick it up right off the shelf.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or yeah, you can go to Texas Beef Traders for sure. Let's make sure you throw that QR code up. Our great friends, make sure you get 10% off when you
I kind of want to
go
go
into
to
Texas Beef Traders.
Can we get a ribeye for dinner?
We can get whatever we want.
We should have brought some.
We're free. We are free. We are free people that live in America. we can do whatever we want. I'm not sure where the best ribeye in Mobile is, though.
It's not the town to come get a ribeye in. It's the town to come get oysters.
Dude, we had some
little
oysters.
scrimps.
We had some oysters and shrimp last night. Cody had a little bit of an issue with his with his shrimp and his esophagus.
Yeah.
And also thanks to Poncho Outdoors, who is providing us the base layer here for what we're, I guess not the base layer for me, that's First Light, but your base layer for a super cold day.
Here's my poncho pocket.
Yep. That's Senior Bowl practices. All right. Any questions in the chat? Any of you guys have anything you want to talk about? We have
Does Longhorn Dust melt ice off the roadways? We should have had your wife check that out this morning with the ice in the driveway.
well, I would, if she would have done that, that would have ended divorce proceedings. by the time I got home. All right.
See if we got anything else.
Oh, wait. Anything any Senior Bowl takeaways?
Jennings Dunker.
Dude, you guys need to
I paid Jennings Dunker $6 million to come back to college.
He's gonna make much more than that.
Don't care.
I have not
cash in a Lambo.
Yeah, I have not seen a day one performance from an offensive lineman like I saw today out of Jennings Dunker from Iowa since Eric Fisher in 20. I don't even know. 20,
Hold up.
20 something.
Mark Ruiz says, "Is this the guy that Anwar and Jason were crapping on today? When did they? Was that what show was that? Were they about? You talking about Seymour? They didn't like Seymour, or I know Anwar doesn't like Sikorsky because I don't think much of us love Sikorsky. But which I mean, Mark Ruiz, what was it really Seymour?
Look, here's the thing. I mean,
I love Seymour. I mean,
if they would not have been crapping on him if they, Cody and I have subscriptions where we buy access to all this film and stuff. I that's not necessarily the same world that Anwar and Jason live in, where they do fantastic jobs at what they do. I'm not sure if they talked about Seymour, they might have looked at his PFF grades or something that might not be good. I've not even looked at PFF. Does he not grade well? I don't
know. I didn't look at the PFF grades, but
yeah,
I do have a source that worked at PFF, and he says not always to believe in everything you get on PFF. So,
well, you and I both talked to that guy today. Yeah. So
no, Mark, he's not the one that went to Purdue. Purdue's a different guy.
Yeah,
so,
no.
I mean, so hopefully that's who you're talking about. If you're talking about the Purdue guy, that's not who this is.
Yeah, that's not who this is. And then, the one thing that I'll say about the Senior Bowl today, as far as I have a bunch of thoughts, and we'll have those on our Roster Watch podcast.
Go check that out at Roster Watch on YouTube.
But as far as the Longhorns are concerned, I was so impressed with Manny Muhammad's physicality at the line of scrimmage and getting these guys off their stems and like redirecting them. Something I'd never seen out of him. And in college football, the thing is, we talk about it so much. They're like, "Oh, I'm not sure how he's going to deal versus press, blah, 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 like press. But like here, people don't really play that much press in college football. And honestly,
Mm-hmm.
they don't really do it that much in the in the NFL these days. They like physical man press coverage where you're right up on the line and you got to use your stems to get off a press. You don't really see it much. Dude, Manny Muhammad today was lining up right on dudes, clouded corner, clouding, getting inside, and then just he was being so physical that he was getting flags thrown at him by these, fake Senior Bowl referees. And I was just like, man, that's a side of Manny Muhammad that I've never seen before, and one that I guess teams will be looking at if they're considering him as a boundary corner. Didn't hard to notice much out of Michael Taff in a day where they're just
Safety's
only,
a tough spot in a day.
yeah,
like
and
today.
because they're only wearing, today they're only wearing shoulder pads and shorts, and it's not and
a lot of inside run.
a lot of inside run drill, and so hard to really tell what was going on with him. But with Manny Muhammad in those 101s, though, I was just thinking, man, I have never seen that guy be that physical.
DK Dub says, I wish Money Muhammad had more interceptions. I think he'll run a 4.45. If this draft class was a little thinner, I think he'd be a first round pick. I think we saw a couple corners today. Colton Hood from Tennessee, who pretty dang good in a couple of situations. Igbinosun from Ohio State had a decent day. And then Manny Muhammad. I think those are the three best corners at the Senior Bowl today on day one. But again, day one, it's a lot of just one-on-one for these corners. Day two is notoriously moving day. That's when you really, these guys are.
Well, day two is the day.
Yeah, these guys are warmed up. These guys are ready to go.
Is the day, and so
they've reacted to day one. And
we'll have a big update for you guys tomorrow as far as that day, because we get to
talk to him in the morning. Yeah.
We'll get to talk to him in the morning. We'll have updates. We'll have a bunch of notes that we're already starting to gather from the war room about like take for example today I talked to Trey Zune from A&M about Jonte Newman, right? That's going to be in the war room. So make sure and check all that stuff out. We're going to have continued coverage here. But yeah, tomorrow, Wednesday at the Senior Bowl, always the biggest day because Thursdays when they just go to red zone.
Yeah.
So tomorrow is the big day. And we'll be live here on Orange Buzz Live. Thank you guys for being here with us. God bless you. We'll talk to you then.